So talking about UK and how reliable the conversation is, when we are we are a country that will basically recover from it. We are first world country. It is a very recovering. I'd say a strong country to recover in terms of economy or finance, right? But it's always better to be prepared or avoid problems going forward. Now, when you're looking at a whole concept around what is the benefit of preparing for this, why should we actually look at preparing for this? The UK, it's not just the UK, but then when you're talking about the world, there's so many problems that people have been having. If it is food shortages, if it is exports or imports, if it is healthcare service maintenance in terms of supply, and then understanding how business coming back to usual is a possibility. But now when you're talking about the lack of detail and the pace of how the government has been working around this, you're talking about smarter taxation, you're talking about individual rating training accounts, or you're even looking at catalytic public investment, right? It all comes down to all of this at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, when it comes to the global warming the climate crisis conversation, when it comes to the topics of saving taxes, or when it comes to saving revenue, increasing the the exports of the country, the GDP, the country basically needs money to run as well. So when you're talking about the impact that the pandemic means and what it has had to make in terms of the tough responsible decision to raise taxes, right? We've asked both individuals and businesses to pay a bit more attention to public finances, but at the end of the day, it is only going to depend on how much of attention is actually given to it, and how much of smart investment is actually done in it. I'll be breaking it down further here for the last show of the day, so make sure you're tuned in, talking about how the US or the UK should prepare for economic shocks, economic shakes, and then how the whole world could actually get affected by this, and how we can learn from the world. Stay tuned, everyone. This is the Buzz. I'm your host, Tim, and I'm talking everything business, tech, entrepreneurship. This is the Buzz on Relax Radio. Good afternoon. Coming back to it, right? Now, talking about the show, talking about our sponsors of the show, we are sponsored by Nanaska, that is none other than the SEMA Education Counselor. Make sure you check them out. We will also play a quick video on them so you get a brief understanding of what you can learn from them and what you can benefit from them. Now, coming back to the conversation, there's thousands of jobs that could be in risk to technology. India faced around 4,500 people's jobs just switching off because of competition, technology, and the fluctuations in rates, right? Now, the head of trade union has warned that COVID will be a multiple shock to the economy, not just a one-off shock. But Frances O'Grady, right? Now, we're going to call her FG, right? But or O'Grady, right? Now she's telling the secretary of the TUC that the union has basically needed to prepare for the crisis in the future, and this will not be just a one-off conversation, considering the climate crisis and the need to get on to net zero with carbon emissions. So the state has also made a concern in the lines of how the TUC will be researched, and between 368,000 to 667,000 jobs could be offshored from Britain. And then when you're talking about the climate charges, when you're talking about the UK, these are a lot of alterations that could go along in those lines. Now, the UK, according to how many jobs will be at risk, we don't really know, but the highest risk will be somewhere in around West Midland, and that number is of around 20,000 people, and then another 20,000 people in Northwest. But this is I'd say this is as dangerous as what has happened to India, because the highest risk, right, is in Yorkshire and Humber, coming up to around 23,000 people or jobs. But this actually seems to be more critical than what India is facing, because India has lost an estimated around 45,000 jobs with the pulling out of the UK companies, GM, Toyota, and the Ford companies from India. But what we're talking about here is how a strong balance sheet and then a comprehensive insurance chart will be important. Now, no guarantee that the next crisis will be the same generous support, but how it is benefited from during the pandemic, how the HR advisory is investing. Investment in technology and innovation is a smart choice, but it is also important to make sure that you're learning, you're updated, and you are going to be relevant to whatever company in the future. So ensuring the right training and support is in place, ensuring that businesses are agile and ready to adapt, making sure that there are advisory suggestions coming on board, and then there's a piece of change that is going to be essential to prepare anyone for whatever is going to come, right? So this is what I'm saying. You need to understand that just because the government starts taxing new businesses doesn't mean that they want them to stop performing. It can be at this point either motivating or actually demotivating, depending on the company or the industry. So just let us know here on the comments below. Do you think taxing new businesses, new industries that are actually booming, do you think taxing these should be taken as an approach for the government to gain revenue from it, or should it also be looked at in a way where it should disencourage these businesses? Now, I know it's a bit of a gray area, but just let me know give me two industries that you think are taxed a bit over what they should be. I'm your host Tim here. Now I'm also reminding you that there is this video that I want to show you with Zidane, and we will be talking to him on Wednesday. Make sure you tune in on Relax Radio. We will be showing you the times, and just stay tuned right here. Good afternoon.
Without self-discipline, success is impossible. There is no glory in practice, but without practice, there is no glory. Practice makes perfect. Zidane's Journey to Success on Wednesday, the 15th of September at 3 p.m. BST. Stream live. Download the app on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. Exclusively on Relax Radio.
That's right. If you want to check out Zidane's story, make sure you tune in on Wednesday. Don't miss a beat. We will also be streaming on our App Store. We will be also streaming on the website. Make sure you tune in to whatever is convenient for you, wherever you are. You don't have to be watching the video all the time, man. Right? We've made apps, we made the websites easier for you to access our platform, stream and watch it. Make sure you don't miss it. I'll be right back with you tomorrow. Good afternoon, UK.